Shammai, Yasharallah, Yahweh, Yahweh, Akkad, Shammai, Yasharallah, Yahweh, Yahweh, Akkad, Shammai, Yasharallah, Yahweh, Yahweh, Akkad. Hey, shalom, shalom. Want to say all praises be to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakat Kodash. Double honor to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the sincere brethren. I came out there across the four winds, the four corners of the globe, pushing the truth, the good news of Yahweh Shai, proclaiming salvation to the elect of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and proclaiming the downfall of Babylon the Great, which is so-called American in the scriptures, and so-called white. You understand? I'm proclaiming His salvation to the elect of Israel, which are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So we're just doing a little on location, weather permits it. Right now we at basically Long Island City Pier, right here, and you can see the backdrop is what? Manhattan. You understand? Which is basically the financial center in connection with London of the whole world, man. What you see right here is trillions of dollars, man. This is the financial epicenter of Esau's, Edom's rulership here in Babylon the Great. But guess what? All of that you see this right here, there's thousands upon thousands of millions of nuclear warheads, nuclear missiles pointing to this place, man. Especially here in New York City. Russia, China, Iran, Pakistan, all of these different countries. This is one of their, if not their main target. You understand? Because they understand the value of New York City, especially Manhattan, to the so-called white man's hegemony. But the scriptures speak about Babylon falling, and this place is going to fall. You understand? This trillions of dollars is going to be a finishment. You understand? And we just go without the garments out of abundance of wisdom. I mean, not to draw attention or whatever, but can't. So we're going to hit the first precepts, Revelation 18:1.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying,
so this is going into end time prophecy, the end of what? Babylon the Great. And I mean the end of all the riches and the glory that you see behind. Because if I can get on the camera, if it's in, it's in the camera. That cube-like building right there, that's one of the buildings of Billionaire's Row, man. And that's not because here in New York, by Central Park, that's right next to Central Park, is Billionaire's Row. That tall cube-like building that you see, that tall cube-like building, yeah, my hand is right on it. That's Billionaire's Row. But guess what? The Lord is gonna drop all that shit, man.
Yep.
You understand?
Yeah. Revelation 18:2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen.
So Babylon the Great is fallen. And what's Babylon the Great in the scriptures? America. And here in New York City. Because when Jake from the city talks about going to the city, what they talk about? Going to Manhattan.
Yeah.
You don't want to say going to the city and you go to the Bronx or Brooklyn or well, Harlem is there. But they ain't really referring to Harlem.
Yeah.
They're downtown, man.
We call it downtown.
Downtown, because this is like 40, this is our midtown, and then you go further down there is the financial district, man. Wall Street and all that shit, man. Down that way. Can't go ahead up.
It says, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils.
Because that's what's going to happen to this place, man. After the nuclear destruction, it's going to be a complete desert and be inhabited by the
doleful creatures.
By the doleful creatures, man. You understand? They are uninhabitable, man. So all of this shit, man. Because this city is the biggest city in the world, man. New York City. Well, not in the world, it's like in America. I mean, it's like 10 million people, 8, 9, 10 million people, man, here in New York City. And it's crammed up, man. Here in Manhattan, you can see, man. You see all them buildings on top of buildings, man. You understand? People on top of people, man. And when the work week comes, you have all the slaves from the Bronx, Brooklyn, Jersey. They come into the city to work, man. To what? Further the hegemony further the enrichment of the so-called white man, the bankers. You understand?
It says, and the hold of every foul spirit.
Yeah.
That's the whole chapter.
Yeah. All right.
And the hold of every foul spirit.
Constant, like the brother was saying, man, those doleful creatures, man. Them desert-like creatures, them unclean creatures, they're gonna be inhabiting all these different. They're gonna be inhabiting billionaires' room, man. They're gonna be inhabiting Midtown, man. They're gonna be inhabiting Wall Street, man. You know what I mean?
Precept.
Yeah.
Right. So before I even continue, we gotta go in the word. We gotta break down the word Babylon.
Can't.
Right? Because the apostles and elders always tell us that you gotta go into words, meaning the words, to really try to understand, the concept. So the word Babel means confusion, lawn meaning land. So Babylon meaning a land of confusion. How is America a land of confusion? It's upside down in this place every day, man. Right? This country is 100% contrary and opposite of the scriptures, man. Nothing here makes sense, right? Left is right and right is left and down is up and down. You don't know nothing, man. Now Esau wants to make GMO everything. GMO plants, GMO animals, trying to make GMO babies. Right? You already got.
There's a lot of GMO babies already, man. What they call it, YNs.
Yeah.
Young niggas, man. Crack baby. Back in the day, they had the crack babies.
Yeah.
Now it's GMO babies, man.
Right. And then I remember it's gotten so out of hand. I remember before the elder apostle Rakal used to say back in the days they would stay away from women with kids. Now
that changed up.
Now you gotta get a woman with a kid just to make sure that it's the actual natural born woman.
And that's a confusion of Babylon.
Yeah.
Man.
Because like we have real life Transformers, Optimus Primes, right? I like to call them Decepticons because they're being deceptive, man. This is 2nd Ezra 6, and I'm gonna start from verse 2nd Ezra 6, and start from verse 8, right? And so it says, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were first born of him, Jacob's hand held the heel of Esau, signifying the downfall of Babylon, right? Because usually the custom is, the oldest or the first son is the ones that usually gets the inheritance. But there's different occasions in the scriptures where the law was like, no, right? So you have the example of Jacob and Esau, where the scripture says the elder shall serve the young, which, traditionally, the young is supposed to serve the elder, right? Even when it comes to Ephraim and Manasseh. Manasseh is the older, but Ephraim got the big brother blessing. It's a bunch of other different scenarios where the Lord was like, nah, I'm going to just switch it up. So, Jacob holding Esau's heel, that's him basically pulling him down on his power by who? By the way of Yahweh coming back to deliver his people. It goes on to say, in verse 9, it says, for Esau is the end of the world. Esau meaning who? The so-called white man, right? Because you ever heard Jake say, I'm living in the white man's heaven, it's the black man's hell?
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
Because why? This is Esau's rulership. This is his heaven. He gets to do whatever the hell he wants to do. You understand? It says, for Esau the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. So as Esau's rulership is coming to an end, our rulership, the so-called Black Hispanics and Native Americans, from Judah on down to Issachar, that's when our rulership is going to begin, and it's going to, according to the scriptures, it's going to be forever and ever and ever and forever lasting, man.
I got a precept for that. Lamentations chapter 4 verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. Who is the daughter of Edom? Edom goes back to what? Red, man. Which are you so-called white people, man. So-called Caucasians, man. You are the Edomites, man. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. And the land of Uz was a chief ancient city of Edom, man. So you can liken New York City to the land of Uz, man. And Esau is living good out here, man. The point of now, you have billionaires rows, you know what I mean? These different apartments and stuff, these condos and shit. These shit is some expensive real estate, man. Manhattan has the most expensive real estate in America, if not the world, man. You understand? So Esau is living good out here, man. You understand? That dwelleth in the land of Uz, cup also shall pass through unto thee. What's that cup? That cup of destruction, that cup of oppression, that cup of slavery is gonna pass through onto you Edomites, man. And we have some Edomites looking at us, man. But well, not looking at us, but they're around. So they're gonna taste of that cup, man. You understand? Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. So basically be exposed. So-called white man is being exposed for all the atrocities that you have committed. If I'm not mistaken, Wall Street was built upon, well, it originated as a slave auctioning block, and it was built upon
Street, right? Wall Street, right?
Wall Street, yeah. It was built on a slave auctioning block, so slaves were being sold there. You understand? Because New York is really a port type of a city, really too, man. You understand? Because it's on the water, man. Like right now, this is like a port right here. You know what I mean? Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, they by the water, man. So these are port cities, man. So what will happen? The slave ships will come in and they would dock here, man. And Manhattan would be one of those places, man. You understand? And Manhattan is really a Native American word, man. I forgot the meaning of it, but Native Americans inhabited the place of New York City and the island of Manhattan. What is it? The Lenape Nation. But where the Lenape at now, man? They're on reservations, and you store their land. You build stuff, man. You know what I mean? You enrich yourselves off of the land of the indigenous peoples, man. You understand? Lamentations chapter 4, verse 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. Come. So the time of our slavery, the time of our oppression is coming to an end. That's why Revelation is saying what? Babylon is falling. 18 says Babylon is falling. The fall of Babylon represents what? Our salvation. Well, salvation for the elect of the nation of Israel. The accomplishment of our captivity. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. Huh? So no more slavery, man. No more captivity for Jakes, man. For blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is it. Verse no more 9 to 5, man. No more jobs, man. No more clocking in for Esau, Edom, man. No more catching the train into work. No more driving into work. So on and so forth. It's gonna be flipped right side up, man. With Esau clocking in, man. Esau in captivity. These different nations, Moab, Ammon, you know what I mean? Being in captivity and subjection unto us. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And in the time of the visitation of Esau, Edom's sins, man. And ultimately, he's going to be visited with a thermonuclear destruction, man. And that was it. You want to jump back to the Revelation? Yeah, the precept.
Going through the whole chapter.
Yeah, it's not that long. It's a couple of yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's the book of just the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
All, if you want to go to Psalms 83. All nations. And what do you see right here? Right here. Right here, where my hand is, that's the United Nations building, man. So all nations have to come and basically hold talks with Esau, Edom, man. And they commiserate in what? Keeping you Israelites down. You understand? The Hamitic nations, the different European nations, the Asian nations, you know what I mean, so on and so forth. They take counsel here in the United Nations building, man. And you niggas don't have no sin, man. You have Jake try to bring up a case for reparations to the United Nations. What's happening, man? It ain't nothing happening. Because they don't care about you, man. You can't bring a case against the United States of America on their own turf, man. And they control that shit. You understand? But that's the simple mindedness of Jake, man. Because when them other nations come here, they look into how they can enrich themselves, man. How they can do business with Esau, how they can come up, man. They're not concerned about you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And even the so-called Latin nations or Caribbean nations or whatever, that have representatives, they're a bunch of sellouts, man, and they don't hold no power. You understand? They're subject to Esau Edom. You have to do as the will of Esau Edom. You want to read Revelation and we get the Psalms 83.
83 and what?
Finish this off 83 from the top.
Okay.
Yeah, just
I'll start from the top.
yeah.
Revelation 18:3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
And what's the wine, man? Her different philosophies and ideologies. Her democracy, you know what I mean? Her democracy, feminism, LGBT, you know what I mean? So on and so forth. All of these philosophies and ideologies, they come here and they have to accept it in one form or another. And one thing, when they come in, majority of the time they're dressed in what? Suit and ties, man. Them different nations, when they're holding the assembly meetings, they are dressed in suit and ties, man. They're not dressed in their ancient garments. Some of them do, but for the most part, they dressed in their suit and ties, man. Because what? By dressing like that, what they're showing, a form of submission, a form of what? Drinking of that cup to the so-called white man, because you're taking on his uniform. You're not dressing like how your people dress. You're dressing like how the so-called white man dressing. So you acquiescing to his way.
And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her.
And so the kings of the earth, they send their different delegations here to the United Nations to do deals and different stuff like that, to hold talks, you know what I mean? So on and so forth.
And the merchants of the earth were waxed rich.
Kind of merchants of the earth, man. You know what I mean? Because here in Manhattan, all the multinational banks, businesses, they have major headquarters here, or offshoot headquarters here in New York City, man. Because this along with London, basically, because this is basically an extension of London, is basically the financial centers of the world, man. You know what I mean? So you have all type of banks, and let's just say Wall Street, you have Midtown, so on and so forth. Like I said, you have billionaires right here. That's not by mistake, because this is one of the main money centers of the world right here, New York City, man, Manhattan chiefly. So all the different merchants, the different businesses, multinational corporations, they want to do business here in America, because America is the biggest economy in the world, and it has the biggest consumer class in the world. This is where consumerism is. I think it's 1/3 of the world's consumption is what based here in America, because America is that place, man. It's Babylon the Great.
And then most of that shit is from women.
Yeah.
They just buy shit for no damn reason.
That's why the whole tariff situation is a major thing, man. It's a major thing in the world economic stage, because Trump put in those tariffs. All the different nations, they have to try to sell their shit in America, man. They can't lose the American market, because that's gonna fuck them up, man. So now that's putting them in a perplex, man. That's why the whole thing with China, one of the last holdouts is a big thing. I think they're supposed to be meeting or met this weekend, China and America. You understand? Because they need access to the American market, man. Because this is where the money is at, man. You're not gonna make money in Zimbabwe, selling shit in Zimbabwe, or in Jamaica, you know what I mean, or in Mexico. No, you want to sell shit here in America, man. Because America is Babylon the Great, man. America is where the money is at. You understand?
And a lot of those consumers are you, Jake. Okay, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? You're the ones who they're really selling on. That's how they're profiting off of you, by selling you these goods, and you giving up your money to them. So that's how they waxed rich off of through you.
Done. Because you their slaves, they pay you and you give it right back to them, man.
That's it.
You understand? That's how it works. Because what is there's the study, it says the black dollar, I think it circulates like less than once in the black community.
Yeah, less.
Some brother heard this, and then the different nations is more, man. I think the Jewish is like 20-something times.
20-something times.
Yeah,
30 times.
but Jake is like less than one time, man. And, but that's Haggai, man. You should put money with a bag of holes, man. That's not pay. The term what? Paycheck to paycheck. That's a Jake thing, man. It's Jake that be saying like, yo, wait until I get paid, man. You don't really hear Edomites saying that like that. Edomites don't have to wait until I get paid. But Jake has to be like, yo, wait until I get paid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, kind of. Yo, what's to that verse?
Wax rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
Yeah, Psalms 83.
Yeah, Psalms 83 and 1. Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power.
So this is I think it's a Psalm of Asaph, right?
Yeah.
So this is basically the men of the Lord praying for the Lord to come up against these heathens, you know? To don't let these heathens devour us, man. You understand? Because that's what they're doing, man. They don't care about Jake. See, with this whole tariff situation, they don't care about Negroes, the different nations. They're caring about themselves, man. And how are they going to enrich themselves? And how are they going to sort out their thing to where they don't lose money? You understand? Where that?
Verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
So the Lord does have enemies. Contrary to popular belief, the Lord, the world enemy calls God and Jesus Christ, they have enemies. And the enemies are the heathens. He's going to list them all right here.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
God. Meaning that they're coming up, man. They basically they're rising up against the Lord and his people, man. You understand? They're taking counsel, basically. And like I pointed out, the UN building, that's one of the main places of taking different counsel. Going on.
Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Who was the lost people? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's why when you bring in the different cases for reparations and different atrocities that committed against you Negroes here in America and even in Latin America and the Caribbean, they don't hear you, man. You understand? Or they dismiss it because you don't wield no power in the heathens world. You understand?
And if I can add too, let's just say Esau was to give y'all reparations. Y'all gonna give him the reparation money right back?
Because he owed him.
Y'all gonna give it to him right back.
Yep.
You know, buying dumb shit, drugs, cars, just stupid shit, man.
Because Jake, you don't control the industries, man. So if you have money, you're gonna have to give it to the people who control the industries if you wanna buy shit, man. You understand? Conduct commerce, man. Esau, Edom, and these different nations, they control all the commerce, the industries here in America. And that goes back to the curses, Deuteronomy 28. You shall go to them for the want of all things, man. You understand?
And an example of how you're gonna give it right back is them stimulus checks that we received from a while back. What people did with them? Blew them the first day they got them. Well, you know, they was waiting on them. There's Jake waiting on that check.
Yeah.
Whether it's your paycheck or, you know, the stimulus check.
Tax return.
Yep, tax returns. So, but that's how, you know, that's what you do. You give it right back.
Yep.
Okay?
Which you kind of have no choice, man. Because like I said, Esau controls everything, man. And even if you try to do your own thing, Esau ain't having that either, man. That's because what Jake don't realize, the only way to do it is going to be by violence. Without violence, it's going to come through Yahweh Shai, man. You know what I mean? You have to take this man out of power, man. But Yahweh Shai is going to do that. You know
verse
Stop the nations, right?
Yeah, not yet. Verse 4. It says they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So basically, don't let these people rise up, man. Basically, don't tell them who they are, keep them economically deprived, keep them on the bottom.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
So they're not going to pass a UN resolution trying to say that you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they won't even come and say you possibly might be the Israelites, man. That's not even going to be a thing, man. They're going to veto that shit. That ain't coming up, man. You know what I mean?
It says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
So they are confederate, they come together, man. So all these nations, the one thing they can agree on is keeping your Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans on the bottom. While they're fighting amongst each other for the top seat, they can agree like, yeah, fuck these niggas. You understand?
They're keeping us separated from our power. They know what happens once we come back to that.
Verse 6, it says the tabernacles of Edom.
So this is listing off the enemies now, like it said in verse 1 or 2. These are the tabernacle of Edom, so-called Caucasian. He's an enemy.
It says the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites,
Arabs,
of Moab,
Chinese,
and the Hagarenes,
I think that's Ishmaelite. No, that's Ishmaelite nation. Right there, yeah. I think you looked that up. That is Ishmaelite nation, the Ishmaelite tribe.
Gibel. No, Gibal.
Well, that's one of the other Ishmael or Ham, but heathen nations were.
And Ammon.
Ammon, the Japanese.
And Amalek.
The so-called small hats, now I'm saying.
The Philistines.
The Philistines, that's the children of Mizraim, a Hamitic nation.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Tyre, those are Canaanites.
It says Assur also is joined with them.
Assur, that should be the Assyrians.
They have holpen the children of Lot.
The children of Lot, this is the Moabites and Ammonites.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as unto Sisera, as to Jabin at the book of Kisan.
Constantly, it's to destroy them. That's the same thing that we're doing, man. Destroy, same to do, destroy the council of the heathens, man. Make them come up one against another. We put them in a state of confusion. And that's exactly what the Lord is going to ultimately do. He's going to have these heathens destroy each other. He's going to have the Edomites, if you can get that, the Egyptians against the Egyptians, he's going to have these Edomites destroy each other from within, man. It's Isaiah 19. Here in America, and ultimately even Edomites against other Edomites, because the Russians are Edomites, and Americans are Edomites. And Russia is going to be the main one taking down Babylon, man. Shooting them missiles at places like New York City, man. You understand?
Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians.
Which goes into the division of the Edomite kingdom, man. Because even here in America is divided, man. Democrats versus Republicans, man. You know what I mean? The so-called blacks versus whites, man. So America is divided within themselves, but the Egyptians, the Edomites, they're divided within themselves too, man. Because you have Americans versus the Russians, different Edomites divided within here in America, and then globally, the Edomites are divided against each other, man. You understand?
And they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom.
So city against city, kingdom against kingdom, city against city, man. Like I said, these cities are divided, man. You have so-called blue cities, which is Democrat, versus Republican cities. You understand? So on and so forth. So Americans versus Americans, man. You understand that? Edomites versus kingdom against kingdom. So you have the kingdom, American, NATO and the EU versus what? The bear, the Russians, man. So Esau, Edom, and the whole American hegemony is deeply divided, man. You understand? I'll let you appreciate it.
This book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 25. It says, and Yahweh Shai knew their thoughts, and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Okay, so as the brother was just mentioning, the fact that, you know, America is divided here in this land, and then Edomites as a nation are divided throughout the whole world. Okay, so, you know, the end of their world is coming. You know, that's a part of them, the end of their world coming. The fact that, you know, they're divided. You know, they're all greedy, they all want this for their own individual nation, not recognizing the fact that they are really all one nation. Okay, so
I got something real quick too. Psalms 137:8. It says, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall ye be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Yeah, so the nation of Israel is going to experience joy. Why? Because Babylon is going to be destroyed. Yahweh comes back to deliver us, man. You know? Because one thing you can't say is that the Lord isn't fair, man. The Lord has given every other nation a time to rule. So you can't say, oh, but I didn't get my turn, y'all all had your turn. And y'all was wicked during y'all rulership, man. You know? It says, happy shall he be that taking and dashing down little ones against the stones, because it's going to come a time when the Lord has to put the spirit on his men to literally grab some little Edomite babies, pancake them on them rocks, man. Because as much wickedness as Esau has done to the Lord's people, at the end of the day, the Lord's people were still a very humble people. You know, despite the wickedness that Jake has done, Jake don't really have it in him to go, you know, grab a baby, flip his ass upside down. But what does the scripture say? Hey, 1,000 years to us is but one day to the Lord. So that anger in the Lord is still fresh. So that's why when he puts his spirit upon us of that anger, Jake is just going to be, you know, Jake's mindset is just going to be different, man. Right? Because it's going to come a time where, hey, man, you know, like these heathens, their worst nightmares going to come to pass, man. Right? Because when the Lord comes back in his angelic form to nuke this damn place, as the scripture says, it's going to be as this deliverance is going to be like no other.
Book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice come from heaven, saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
So come out of her, my people, man. And that's what the elect is doing, man. Coming in out of America spiritually, man. You know what I mean? Stop calling ourselves African Americans, Puerto Ricans, so on and so forth. We're calling ourselves Israelites, man. You know what I mean? Stop transgressing the law, statutes, and commandments, man. Calling upon the name of Yahweh Yahweh Shai. We're not Christians, so-called Christians. We're not Muslims. No more, man. We're Israelites from our perspective tribe. Within the name of our power, Yahweh Yahweh Shai. You understand? So that we not be partakers of plagues. It says
of our sins.
Of our sins, and we receive none of our plagues. Because this is a sinful place, man. All type of witchcraft and sorcery and abominable works is done here, man. And it's pushed and allowed. That's what the Constitution allows, man. Basically do as thou wilt. That's what the American Constitution is based upon. And that's exactly what these people do as they will, which most of the things that they do is against the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. It's sinful, man. And it says, come out of her so you be not partakers of our plagues. Because great plagues is coming in, man. Pestilence, famines, you know what I mean? Right, different uprisings of the peoples. Ultimately, the ultimate plague is going to be that nuclear destruction. That's coming here, so come out of her. You don't want to be partakers of those things, brother.
Revelation 18:5. For her sins have reached unto heaven.
Consider the sins of America has reached unto heaven, man. Especially the sins of Esau, Edom. And you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that's joined onto Esau, you're going to receive the judgment right along with Esau. You understand, brother?
It says, and Yahweh Shai have remembered her iniquities.
So the Lord ain't forget. The Lord ain't forget that Mahane was stolen from the Native Americans. It was built upon the blood of the Negroes and Native Americans, man. The Lord ain't forget that, man. You understand? That's what in Malachi it said, let's get that. Malachi, you shall build. You know what I mean? Go ahead up.
It says, reward her even as she rewarded you.
So reward her even as she rewarded you. How did the so-called white man reward the Israelites, man? Death and destruction, man. So the scriptures also say render double. I don't know if that's what it said. But it says also render double onto her.
It says, and double unto her.
Yeah, double, yeah. So double payment, man.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the ass whooping that Esau is going to get, these heathen nations is going to get in the kingdom, is going to be a double ass whooping. Severe, man. A righteous ass whooping, man. Because we're not going to do any wicked, like Esau was buck breaking Jakes, raping their wives and stuff, committing pedophilia. We're not going to do that, man. Our punishments is going to be in righteous ordinance, man.
That's right.
And severe at that, man. You understand? Right.
And double unto her, double according to her works.
Kind of one of the works of the so-called white man. slavery, oppression, genocide. You understand?
Rape, rob, murder.
Can't. No mercy, man. As the scriptures say, unto him that gave no mercy shall be given no mercy, man. As the so-called white man wasn't merciful, man. You understand? On to this day. And you have DJ Trump in there, and he's gonna come down with great wrath, man, upon you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. He's shipping you Latinos off to El Salvador, man, in a scary ass prison, man. You understand? And the measures are only gonna get more and more draconian upon you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and upon Americans in general. It's gonna get hectic out here. So the scripture say, come out of her, so you be not partakers of our plagues, man. Because the plagues is including the decay of this whole society. It's gonna be anarchy and hell out here in these streets of America, man. All these different nice places and shit, it's gonna be ransacked, man. Because we're in a so-called nice area right now. But this shit, it ain't gonna be like this with all hell breakers. It ain't gonna be Edomites and Moabites jogging around. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna be no police around. You know what I mean? So on and so forth. It's gonna be all hell breaking loose, man. Because the scriptures tell you about the cities being troubled, man. And this is the biggest city in America, man. So New York City is definitely gonna be troubled, man. You understand?
If I could add real quick, because you mentioned how Esau is going to come down more with his draconian laws, Trump's latest executive order would shield police from accountability, creating danger for those most at risk. And we all know which communities, you know, the policing is going to be in, man. You know, while during Trump, when he was running, he told people, he was like, yeah, he was giving a speech saying, like, you know, he just wants the cops to just rough him up a little bit, man. So Esau already gets away with executing Jake in broad daylight on camera, but now Trump is just further saying, listen, y'all can just run wild on these niggas and do what the fuck y'all want to do. Y'all won't be accountable for nothing. For nothing. So now, you know, hey, Esau is slowly showing his horn and his hatred for the nation of Israel. Because you got Jake that's always asking, man, why does Esau hate him so much? It's a spiritual hatred that goes back from the garden, from Cain and Abel, right? Transferring back to Jacob and Esau, where Esau said, for the day of my father at hand, roughly paraphrasing, where I was slaying my brother Jacob.
Yeah, the days of mourning.
Right.
And then I would slay my brother Jacob.
Right? It's a spiritual, deep hatred that Esau has for Jacob, man. And he's going to do anything he can to further the oppression, right? Because he don't want to give up his kingdom, man. You know? So
rightfully so. You know what I mean? Because if I was, I don't want to say if I was an Edomite, I'd be doing the same thing too.
Right.
Thank God I'm not an Edomite.
You know, whenever a person is in a position of power, they're not gonna just give it up easy, man.
Hey, I would be the worst Edomite a nigga want to come across. You know what I'm saying? I'll be a terrible Edomite, man, to you niggas, man.
I got Malachi. Are you one?
You go ahead and Malachi, yeah. Let me see. Oh, yeah, the precept? Okay, yeah.
It's the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 5. It says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Okay? Like the brother was going into right now. Like they're gonna allow the authorities to do whatever or have their way with you. Okay? And then, you know, this has been going on since we came over here.
Yep.
Okay? They commit all kinds of atrocities and then say that we didn't do it. Okay, or you know, they make up some bogus statement because they actually go through the process and go through court, but they're always found not guilty in that court. Okay, and who's the possessors? The possessors are the so-called Edomites. They're the ones who, not so-called Edomites, but they're the Edomites. Okay, the ones who control the entire earth right now. Okay, and so they're the ones who are committing or slaying us, slaying the people. And holding themselves not guilty. All right. It says, and they that sell them say, blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich. Okay. And their own shepherds pity them not. So that's getting back into the fact that you know, they making money off our backs still to this day. And who's the shepherds? Our own shepherds. Those would be like, you know, the quote-unquote pastors, okay, or the leaders of the community, the so-called leaders of the community, okay? They don't give a fuck because they got their hand in the bag as well, okay? So they only concerned about getting their own riches at the expense of their own people.
Go back to the Revelation 18. After the 7th verse, you can get the Malachi.
Revelation 18 and 7.
No, 6. A little more to 6. Yeah, 6.
Okay, so from the top?
Yeah.
All right, Revelation 18 and 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she had filled to her double.
So basically, double destruction is coming to Esau, Edom, in particular in the kingdom, when we put you in captivity. Verse 7.
How much she have glorified herself.
So Esau glorified herself, man. Built up a kingdom, built up these different major cities, man. New York's Manhattan, yeah, this shit is too, and like somebody from like a third world country or from the islands or whatever, you come in, you like, oh shit. I remember when I was first in Times Square, I was like,
damn,
oh, shit, this shit is crazy, man.
I ain't like
it kind of is demonic, but it looks magical at the same time, man. Like,
because of all the lights and colors.
Especially like when you're flying over it at nighttime, or like it's impressive, man. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, but guess what? It's gonna be destroyed same way, man. But it is impressive, man. But that's the Lord. The Lord wants Esau to build himself up, man. Like, oh shit, and then the Lord just smash it, man.
Bulldozer.
You know what I mean? Because that's build up the glory of the Lord, man. You know what I mean? All of this shit turning into nothing, man. You know what I'm saying?
I got nothing.
Count, bring it on.
Obadiah 1 and 4. It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, all right? And we know who, you know, has the eagle as they, you know, they symbol. Okay, all of these Edomite nations, when you look at their symbol, the eagle is on there somewhere. Okay? And though thou set thy nest among the stars, okay?
Space programs.
The spiritual realm, and you know, they building up. You know what I'm saying? Like they mastered the skyscraper. This isn't the way the Most High intended us to live. You're supposed to have space around your land, maybe 2 or 3 stories, and that's it. Okay? But this is what this man has did with his power for his kingdom. Okay?
If I could add real quick too, when you look at Mount Seir and compare it to Esau likes to live in them tall ass caves, man. You know, that's his thing. I want to be in the cave, so let me build the caves, man.
And it says, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh.
So
that, go ahead, now go into it.
The Lord's gonna smash this, man. Like Malachi is gonna get that Malachi.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Malachi 1 and 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished.
Going back to the times when Esau was in the caves, in the Dark Ages.
But we will return and build the desolate places.
The Renaissance period, man. Where Renaissance is a French word for meaning rebirth, man. Or back in power, basically. Back again.
Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, they shall build.
So they shall build, man. They build this shit up, man. When the Godites was there, it wasn't like this shit, man. But they build this shit up, man. Like first with skyscrapers upon skyscrapers, buildings upon buildings. You know what I mean? What they call New York? New York City, the concrete jungle, man. You know what I mean? The concrete jungle. So they built this shit up, man. To damn that to capacity, man. It kind of crazy because they be finding new areas to build more shit.
I was just about to say that, and they still building.
They still building, man. There's all type of construction going on in Manhattan, man. Across the city, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, fuck, how y'all finding more space, man, to build shit, man. But that's Esau. He gotta continue building until the Lord knock his ass out, man. Right on?
It says they shall build, but I will throw down.
So the Lord's gonna throw down all this shit, man. I mean, and they're building up just for the glory of the Lord. Like Romans 9 and 17, when it goes into Pharaoh, puff it up basically, just so he could be brought down. So Esau building up, being more proud, so the Lord could throw him down, man. Because when the Lord throw him down, it's gonna be like, yo, what power is this that could do this to this to Esau, Edom, man?
Yeah, just like how the Lord put the Pharaoh of Egypt during the time of the Exodus, put him in that great position of power. You know, and the Pharaoh, he wanted to let Jake go. But the Lord was like, nah, fuck that.
Not yet.
Yeah, the Lord wanted to pump him up.
Not yet. I need to put that battery in his back so I can show Israel who's the true living power, man. You know? Which shows you there's no such thing as free will. It says, they shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, as the people against whom the Lord Yahweh had indignation forever.
So it's going to be known that Esau is the people of the wicked, man. You know what I mean? The destruction of Babylon the Great here in America is going to be made known. Like, this is how not to live, man. This is how not to be. You understand? So yeah, Esau keep building up because the Lord going to throw you down very soon, man. You know what I mean? You want to go to Revelation 18? I think it's 7 now.
All right. Revelation 18:7. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously.
Constantly live deliciously. Man. You know what I mean? Because like I was saying, man, this is Manhattan, man. This is the one of the main economic centers of the world, man. Esau, Edom living good here, man. You know what I mean? And those the different high-rise luxury buildings, man. Like I said, this billionaires were right there, man. You understand? Word up.
So much torment and sorrow give her.
So torment and sorrow is coming in. Word up.
For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow.
Kind of reminds you of Trump was in a meeting with Zelensky. He said, yo, don't tell us what we're going to feel. Because Zelensky was saying, you're going to feel it, man. You know what I mean? Basically, what they're feeling over there in Ukraine, America is going to feel it. He's like, don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're not going to feel nothing. But that's beautiful because that's a Lord pumping up the pride of Esau, Edom, and you Americans, man. Because you're going to feel it, man.
Yeah, pride coming before destruction.
Fall, yeah.
And the majority of the wars was fought overseas.
Yep.
So America has been sitting here, so they got a delusion now thinking that, they can't be touched.
And that's why she's also known as the Virgin Babylon. Why? Because her cherry hasn't been popped. So there hasn't been any major world wars on the soil of America, meaning the bloodshed. So that's why she's still called the Virgin. Because what happens when you sleep with a virgin? You pop her cherry, she bleeds. You know? So that's why that pride is like, man, Esau's looking at history like, nah, we good. It's like, oh, all right. Keep that same energy.
Yeah. Revelation 18:8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine.
So it's going to come quick upon Esau, man. I mean, the collapse of this society is going to happen quick, man. Like I was saying, the scriptures say all these people is going to be trouble, man, because of the pride. New York City is one of the most prideful cities, man. It's basically the top echelon of the cities here in America, man. Everybody want to come to New York. You understand? So the Lord, is setting out for a great fall.
It says, and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire.
What's that fire? The thermal nuclear destruction. That's coming here upon Babylon the Great.
For strong is the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, judgeth her.
So the Lord is strong, not judging them, man. There's a greater power than Esau, man. Way greater, man. Judge that's going to judge him, man. Word up.
Real quick, the Lord said, don't fear him that kills the body, but fear him that can kill the spirit and the body, man. You know? Who's that? The father of all spirits, the creator of all things, man. Got it.
Revelation 18:9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her.
So like we were saying earlier, man, these kings, they come here, they set up shop here, man. Ishmaelites, Moab, you know what I mean, so on. That's why the whole terrorist thing is a big thing, like we were saying earlier, man. Because what? They're making money here with Babylon. They're making trade deals, so on and so forth, selling their products here, man. And at the same time, adapting the ways of Babylon the Great, man. The democracy, you know what I mean? The worship of these different gods and philosophies, the feminism, so on and so forth. The alphabet community, they're accepting the ways of Babylon and making money with Babylon. These Ishmaelites, these Moabites, Ammonites, so on and so forth. And they live in deliciously. And the elites of these different nations, they're making money with Esau. They don't want to stop making that money. So that's why they acquiesce to the ways and the demands of Esau, Edom, here in Babylon the Great.
It says,
and a lot of these different luxury buildings is owned by foreigners too, man. The elites of Moab, the elites of the different sheikhs over there in Dubai and Saudi. You know what I mean? They own a lot of real estate, man, here in New York City, in London too. You know what I mean?
it says, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
Because even though they're going to be the ones to shoot missiles, the Moabites and Russians, they're going to realize, oh, it's like bittersweet. Like, fuck. Damn. It's like, damn, you had to come to this? Fuck, we fucked up now. It ain't no more money to be made, we fucked up. Because they're not going to really be understanding what's going on either. You understand? Because they're going to be like, damn, what's next? What's next is captivity. You destroy Babylon. I mean, no more money to be made now. It's time for you to go into captivity. You understand? So it's going to be as bittersweet. They're going to be in a state of confusion at the same time. Because they don't really understand what's going on. You understand?
Revelation 18:10. Standing afar off for the fear of a torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
Kind of, even the nuclear expert agree with that. Like the nuclear destruction of Babylon is going to be about 1 hour, man. There was a lady, she was going around. She's like a nuclear expert. She's like, yeah, it's going to last like 66 minutes. Scripture says about 1 hour. You understand? So, hey, that's going to, when them nuclear missiles start flying, man, it's 1 hour. All this great riches, man.
That's it.
Sing. And like I was saying, them missiles are already pointing toward New York City, toward Manhattan, man. Point to all these different major cities of Esau, Edom, man.
Yeah.
It's just for them buttons to be pressed. It's just for the Lord to put that evil thought in the kings of the earth mind, like the scriptures say. Yeah, it's like, cause they're not gonna fully understand what the fuck they're doing, man. Certain shit that you do, you don't understand the ramifications until it's done. It's like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you get so angry you kill someone, it's like you don't understand like until like, oh shit, did I really just do that shit? I'm saying the same thing with this third world war, man, that nuclear destruction. It's gonna be damn, it's gonna be bittersweet and it's gonna be like fuck. Torments, man.
Revelation 18:11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Can't. No man buy their merchandise anymore, man. So they realize their whole economic structure is destroyed, man. Because Babylon the Great is destroyed. They had to make the decision of shooting missiles on America. So their whole shit is fucked up, man. The whole world is in a state of confusion, man. Who's going to come back and restore that order? Yahweh Shai and 144,000, man. After the great destruction of Babylon the Great. Where the Most High make these nations shoot missiles upon Babylon. Because it's the Lord that's going to make it happen. It's not the will of these nations, but it's the will of Yahweh Shai.
The merchandise of gold and silver, precious stones, and of pearls, and fine linen, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and all brass and iron and marble, and cinnamon and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beast, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men.
So basically all the merchandise, man, what they call it, the traffic, man. You know what I mean? Because what's even the big thing with the tariffs right now? The merchandise coming in. So that's like a preliminary or foreshadowing, man. To show like, yo, it's gonna come a time where it ain't no merchandise coming to Babylon, man. Because Babylon is gone, man. It ain't no about Babylon, man. You know what I mean? It ain't no more Los Angeles, it ain't no more New York City. You know what I'm saying? It's gone, man. You understand? And then the souls of men, because everybody trying to come to Babylon, man. You know what I mean? Everybody trying to come to Babylon to make themselves a slave to try to make it, man. You have Issachar jumping the border. You know what I mean? You have these different Moabites coming over here trying to set up a Chinese store, man. You know what I mean? You have even Jake from the islands trying to come up here. try to come to foreign to try to sort out themselves. All of that shit is gonna be cut off, man. I mean, it's gonna be no more. Yeah.
And the merchant.
I think you're 14, right?
14. Yeah. And the fruits, Revelation 18 and 14, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all.
Constant Babylon is gone, man. So it ain't no more commerce, ain't no more money to be made. It ain't no more vacation here in Babylon, man. Babylon is gone, man. When them nations shoot them missiles upon Babylon the Great, man. Going up. And also these nations come over to commit all type of wicked acts. You know what I mean? That's why they call it what, westernization, man. The Arab woman will come over here and start wearing her hijab. You know what I mean? East Indian woman, the same thing, come over here and be hoes. You know what I mean? A lot of these men of these different nations that are part of the alphabet community, they come over here to be allowed to do that. You know what I mean? Because in their country they can't do it, but they can come here and do it. So all of that is going to be destroyed, man, and done away with. Where that?
The merchants of these things which were made rich by her.
So these nations being rich, man. The elites of these different nations, the upper class of these different nations, they be rich. I think the most millionaires is in China or something like that. Crazy shit. How are they making their money? Off of enslaving their people to sell shit to you Americans, man. You understand?
Yeah. Which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing.
Because it's going to be a fearful thing too when this destruction comes up. Because they themselves going to be fearful, man. Even though they don't want to show it, they're not going to understand the full ramifications thereof. You understand? Go ahead.
And saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls.
God, the superpower of the earth, America. Wow, shit, done.
Yep. For in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught.
For in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught. Trillions upon trillions of dollars, so to speak. It's come to naught, man. Wow. Oh shit. Unbelievable, so to speak. Go ahead,
And the scripture says, riches profit not in the day of wrath, man.
Exactly.
You can't buy your way into the kingdom. You can't, buy your house shot, tell them don't send the missiles off. You can look at your, fuck out my face, yo. Once the Lord put his spirit on those men to push that button, like it shows you in the X-Men movie where what's his name? Apocalypse. He did what he did, and then it started showing you scenes of every man in different country, even in like the battleships, everyone putting in the key, pushing that button. All the missiles let off, so it's going up, 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 up. And then, according to the movie, it's a little bullshit, but it end up like not destroying, but it shows you that's what's going to happen, man. When they push it, and then the missiles go up, and they fall back down like an arrow. Because when you shoot an arrow like this, shooting it to go up, it's when it comes back down with a more greater velocity, man.
Revelation 18 and 17, I'm gonna start it again. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off.
Kind of, what Trump was saying, what's going on now is a pre-shot of it, man. What Trump was saying, the ships are turning around. You know what I'm saying? The ships in the sea are turning around. These big cargo ships are turning around. Why? Because it ain't gonna be no America to go to. It's gonna be destroyed, man. You understand? So they're gonna start off in the different sea in the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean. Well, the Atlantic Ocean, if you're here on the East Coast, the Pacific Ocean, heading to America, but it's like, yo, America is destroyed, man. Oh shit. So with all that merchandise, it ain't no place to sell it. Because the missiles done went off, man. And the electors delivered from America And it is on fire, man. Go ahead up.
And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city?
So what is like unto America, man? You understand? Because America sits in a position of awe amongst these different nations, man. The city on the hill, so to speak. So that's what's going to be make the fall of it even that much more greater. What power is it that destroyed this place, man? Yahweh Shai. Because the scripture says this is going to be the greatest destruction and the greatest deliverance in the history.
And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich, or that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness.
Costliness, man. Because they're able to sell that shit over here for extreme price, man. Because the cost of living here in America is the highest in the world, man. All the goods and stuff is inflated, man. They make it for cheap in these different foreign countries and sell it for you for an arm and a leg. You know what I mean? That's how they made rich, man.
For in 1 hour is she made desolate.
So in 1 hour she made desolate. Like destruction.
Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets.
So we rejoicing at this, man. Rejoicing, like, bring this on, man, because that means our salvation.
For Yahweh Shai have avenged you on her.
This is our vengeance, man. Vengeance is the Lord. This is our vengeance for all the atrocities that were committed against us and our people. And you Jakes should rejoice at this, but we know 2/3 of you, you're going to be destroyed in this place, with this place. So you're not going to rejoice, but the 1/3, 144,000, we're going to rejoice at the fall of Babylon the Great. Right?
And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone.
Hey, great millstone. That ain't by mistake, man.
And cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all.
And rightfully so, because Esau, Edom, Babylon, here America is a place of violence, man. Esau, Edom is a people of violence. What did they go throughout the earth, committing all type of violence, man? Waging wars upon the people. Vietnam, Iraq, and in this Third World War, man, waging war upon the different nations of the earth. Esau is a violent people, and America is a violent place, man. So it's rightfully so. You reap what you sow. So it's rightfully so that with great violence, this place is going to be destroyed, man. Right up.
And the voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee.
Because America is like a great place of entertainment. You know what I mean? This is the entertainment capital of the world. You know what I mean? You have like the different sporting events, concerts, so on and so forth. Man. If you want to make it in the world, you gotta basically come to America. You want to make it in the musical world, sports world. You gotta come to Babylon the Great. Man. What they call New York City, the city that never sleeps. You understand? Going on.
And no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee.
Because it's all going to be destroyed. No more building. Yeah, no more construction. I mean, a lot of the brothers work construction. There ain't gonna be no more construction. Hey, you're gonna be the architect over that shit, though, man. You're gonna be the rulers over that shit. You're gonna have your different construction people working for you, man. You understand? Because that's what the scripture said: the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls. So back in Israel and Jerusalem, they're gonna be building our stuff, man. You understand? Because that place is gonna be vanquished too, man. But it's gonna be built back up. The land of Israel. Go on.
And the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee.
Constantly, yeah, the construction work. The concrete blocks, all of that shit is gonna be the cranes. You go downtown, you hearing all type of construction shit going on, metal banging. I'm saying all of that shit is gonna be no more because it's gonna be destroyed. Right?
And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived.
So basically, all the different shits that happening is gonna be no more, man. The everyday activities is gonna come to an end, and which is by great sorceries. As this is a chief place of all type of witchcraft. Ephesians the 6th chapter. Is you were made rich, man. Deceiving the earth, man, to accept LGBT, man, to accept feminism, to accept you can worship any god you want to worship white Jesus, man. That was pushed at the forefront by Babylon the Great, man. Do as thou wilt. Basically be a demon, man. And that's how you were enriched, man, because the different people of the world bought into that, man, and adopted the ways and enriched Babylon the Great, man. You know that?
Revelation 18:24. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth.
Prophets and saints, man. Because some of the men of the Lord is going to be put to death for the testimony of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Ultimately, this is a place where the saints were put in captivity and we were murdered and massacred in large numbers with Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So guess what? That righteous blood cried unto the Lord, and the Lord has to what? Avenge it, man. And the vengeance is going to come through what? Destruction and the downfall of this place. And that's exactly what's happening right now. We see the decay and the downfall of Babylon the Great. It's like the scripture says, great riches is going to be turned into what? Nothing, man. It's going to be consumed, man. Okay, so that is
like I said, this is Jeremiah 51. I'm going to start from verse 6. It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Right? So when it says flee out the midst of Babylon, it don't mean hop on a plane, go somewhere. Because you cannot escape the judgment and the destruction of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. It's talking about spiritually, man. Why? Because in Job 9:24 says the earth was given to the hands of the wicked, meaning the wicked are in rulership. So nothing but wicked is being promoted, is being highlighted, is being glorified. So if you're all about this kingdom, you're all about wickedness. In order to make it, you have to be involved in wickedness, man. So the Lord is not for any wickedness, man. Right? So it says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. How will we deliver every man his soul? By being out here on the highways and byways, preaching the gospel of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
Living a righteous life to the best of our ability.
That's right, man. You know? It says, be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Yeah, so the Lord is going to seek righteous vengeance, right? A payback on Babylon for all his atrocities and the wickedness that he has done.
For she has done.
For she has done. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand. Yeah, that great city. You know, where everybody who's born outside of America, I gotta go to America to make it. If I want to make it, if I want to be successful, I gotta come to America. Why? Because America is known as a melting pot. Because you have all the nations here. All the nations here. You know, why? Because it's advertised as that golden city. You know, Babylon likes to push that American dream, when in actuality, it's a fucking nightmare, man. It's a whole fucking nightmare. Ain't no damn dream. It's a nightmare. It says Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Yeah, because Babylon, America has gone around and spreading their bullshit ass philosophies, right? Their philosophies, their beliefs, their laws, their ways, and it's reached a point where all the nations are like, hold the fuck up, wait a minute. Like something not adding up. You know, they're starting to wake up and realize that Babylon is wicked and they're hypocrites, man. Right? Trying to force their LGBT madness on other nations, telling other nations, oh, you can't treat your people like that. But those nations are like, but look what you've done to the blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans, man. You broke damn near every flipping treaty that you made with the natives, man. Right? His words were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Roughly paraphrasing, man. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take blame for her pain. If so, she may be healed, but she won't be healed. She can't be healed. Because when you go into the book of Obadiah, the Lord tells you, man, Esau is going to be cut off from the root. So when you cut the root off, that tree ain't growing back. It says, verse 9, it says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone in his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto the heavens, and is lifted up even in the sky. So Esau, the time has run out. There's no more room to print your bullshit on the receipts. It's reached the heavens, right? Just like how when the feds roll up on you, that means you're done. You're done. So the Lord is saying, you're done. Your time is up. That's it. I've given you your time to rule. You ruled in wickedness, right? I made a covenant with my people, a promise with my people, the nation of Israel, so-called Black Hispanics and Native Americans, and I'm going to send my son to deliver them. And that's it, man. That's it. Yeah.
Because he's talking about the fact that Esau, his time is up.
Okay. Right.
So Job 14:5, it says, seeing his days are determined, okay, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Okay, so, like the brother was saying, once your time is up, your time is up. And Esau, your time is up.
Beautiful said. Hey, so with that, we hope you brothers and sisters were edified. We want to say all praises be to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. God honors and apostles, others of great millstone doing well. And shalom to elect. Shalom. Until next time. Shalom.